Recording in progress.
Jump inside the stove
and buckle on in.
Open your mind,
because it's time to dive into
2, 1.
the deep end.
The deep end.
Welcome to the deep end.
The deep end.
The deep end, bro.
Yeah, brah, deep end.
Deep, man.
Too deep, brah.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 18. Woo!
Thanks for joining us.
Hell yeah, what's up?
It's time for a vibe check.
Vibe check. It's a vibe.
Vibes all day.
I'm digging your vibe, baby.
We're each going to pull some oracle cards to read what is the vibe of the week.
Hell yeah, let's see what the current energetic vortex has for us today.
I'm pulling from the Oracle of the Unicorns deck, and I got flow. Find an easier path forward. Surrender the outcome. Release your expectations.
That's cool. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I pulled from the good old Archetypes guidebook. I pulled Gnosis. Innermost knowing mystic truths. True knowledge is not found in facts and figures in scholarly books on library shelves. Rather, Gnosis points to the deep and timeless archetypal wisdom that rises from the felt experience of having touched the unknown with every one of the senses. Those who are drawn to Gnosis find themselves in esoteric studies, likely involving mysticism, alchemy, healing, or perhaps science. Knowing is their calling. Not knowing is their job description. No matter how far the alchemist takes their studies, they come to the ultimate conclusion that facts slip toward mystery, and soon the mystery results in facts. This card signifies a knowing that is life-changing. Once you experience it, you are forever changed and become a guardian of Gnosis. The internal mystery is calling you. Study your passion in the deepest way available to you. There she is. I literally went off. I don't even know what to say. I literally go pee and I slipped, almost busted my fucking ass. And I'm always noticing piddles of whatever by the toilet. And I'm like, what the goddamn fuck is this? It smells like fucking pee. What the fuck? And so I go in the bedroom, I look at her, I was like, why is there pee in front of the toilet? She's like, well, I've been peeing there. And she's like, well, and I'm like really charged. So she's like really scared of me, and I need to calm down because she's not giving me information that I need right now.
Mm-hmm.
But she's too scared. So she'll stand in front of it and just pee on the floor because she's too scared to sit on it. And then and so I was kind of like, that fucking makes no sense. I was just like so pissed, but I didn't even know what to say. So I was like, just get the fuck out of here. I don't even know what to say to you. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And while I'm waiting for you, I thought about it and I was like, go in there. I'm like, okay, what are you afraid is going to happen? Like, what are you afraid of when you're standing there, peeing on my floor? And she's like, well, I'm just afraid like something's just going to like grab me. I'm like, from where? She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you need to be more afraid of me and what I'm going to do if you keep peeing on my floor. But I was like, sweetie, you got to stop being so fucking afraid of your house. I'm like, every time you go to your grandma's, you come back afraid of something new. I'm like, it's just, I don't know if it's which cousin it is, but she's just feeding into the fear. Or she's probably afraid of everything and being dramatic about it. So she is probably trying to act like her, but it's literally every time she goes down there. But I'm not going to banish her from going down there because it comes in clutch when we're trying to record, the sessions.
Does she like going down there?
Oh, yeah. She has a great time. Yeah, it's great. But they always get sick and she comes back with some weird phobia. And so I just am like, and so, yeah, I need to talk to Alan and just be like, look, it's getting kind of weird. Okay. Like, this is just getting ridiculous. Like,
Is he not like around her the whole time?
Probably not. Cause they live on a property, you know what I mean? And so that they'll like, sometimes they'll play on the trampoline, or the kids will play in this one room, or they'll go run and play in the field. You know what I mean? So there's always kids running around somewhere. I mean, he's not with her every second, because like there's times I'll
Right.
sit in the living room and visit with the adults, and the kids will go run in and out of the house. You know what I mean? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
we're not completely, yeah. Like even when I'm there, yeah, she's not completely under my watch either.
Mm.
So it's just like I don't know what the fuck. Like because I was so fucking pissed, like so pissed, but I can't just like, oh, I gotta chill because like potty habits, like I don't know, I studied Freud in college and his psychosexual development stuff, and I don't want to damage her and
Right.
create because I'm already damaging them enough just being who I am, So I'm just trying to minimize that, but I don't know what the fuck to say to that. Like I cannot believe that. That is just the
I had
most.
that fear as a kid, but of like porta potties. But yeah, I always feel like something's gonna jump up and bite me or grab me too.
Well, I have
But
that
mostly
fear.
porta potties.
I have that fear of outhouses and porta
Right.
potties, but oh yeah, I bet jumping up and grabbing her on her butt. I didn't even think of that. I thought it was just okay, and so she's scared
Yeah, when you're not
sitting there.
looking of something getting you when you're not looking, kind of a thing.
I mean, I get that. I kind of have that with just spiders. I'm always worried there's a spider or a snake that's just gonna climb up my coochie.
Right. So maybe it's something like that.
Yeah,
And
that
she
makes
doesn't know how to
sense.
explain that that's what it is. It's like,
Yeah.
I wonder why, like, especially women, because we have to sit, like, where does
Uh-huh.
that come from? Is it from years and years and years of like things happening to you when you do, like back in the days where you had to squat out in nature
Oh my God,
or
I know,
something,
right?
you know?
Yeah, I didn't even
Like
think of
you're
that.
vulnerable or you're exposed and something. I don't know, like I wonder why so many of us have that weird, like what is the likelihood of of like a snake really living in a fucking outhouse and not dying from all of the crap that's in there, or the chemicals they put in there, and then actually going to jump up and bite you on the vagina when you're going to the bathroom. It's like,
I've
but we all have
actually
this fear about it.
my fear of snakes in the toilet is actually not irrational. I've heard stories of snakes coming like out of
Right. Yeah, I
sewage
have
systems.
too. Yeah.
And so that's the only one that is a little unnerving, but it's like such in the back of my head because I don't even live in a climate like, you know what I mean? Like that's more
Right.
Florida, southern. Oh, by the way, your life where you were raped by that fucking priest, which I don't think he was a priest. I get the vibe like he was a preacher, but it came to me out of fucking nowhere that I just get southern, what South Carolina vibes, southern
Oh.
states vibes. Yeah, like marshy, because when he takes you in that truck, it's marshy and like swampy.
Mm.
And the way the trees grow, it just looks like marshy and swampy. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't mention that.
Hmm.
But yeah, it just came to me out of fucking nowhere.
Interesting.
Anyway, but yeah, you know what's funny is I have that phobia when I go camping. Like even if I just plop a squat, I'm always afraid a spider's gonna jump up my coochie.
Mm-hmm.
Or like something that I'm peeing on is just gonna be like, "Rah,"
I would much rather pop a squat than go in an outhouse because I'm always afraid. Like I always see spiders in all the corners,
Well,
and
do you
you sit
remember
there
that
watching
fucking
them.
well, do you remember that fucking X-Files episode with that fucking white creature with the teeth all around the mouth, like all the way around in the circle that would go in the outhouses and like suck people in
Oh, maybe.
and bite the shit? Yeah, ever since I saw that episode of X-Files, I've been terrified of outhouses.
Hmm. Yeah, there must be something weird underlying there, but
Now I feel bad
is
for
it hard for her to get up on the toilet? Is it like too high
nah,
up?
nah. She
No.
can get up on it. Yeah, she can get up on it and it's just fine. It would make sense if someone's telling her scary stories about shit like that.
Right.
Fuck.
Or just scary stories in general, and maybe it triggered like a soul memory of something, or yeah, I mean, kids have weird fears like that
Oh yeah.
about that kind of stuff. Did you read the paperwork I sent you from Dolores Cannon?
Oh no, dude, I forgot you sent me that. No, yeah. Did you email it to me?
Yeah, and I'm getting ready to go through the second one, which is the level 2, but um there was just like some good points that she made. And then she said, which I wasn't trained to do, I just started doing on my own. But she says that at the end of every past life, she always asks if there's anyone that you recognize from this current incarnation in it. So
Yeah, I
that's,
remember you asking that to me.
yeah. I was never trained to do that.
Oh yeah.
But I like to ask it. So it's pretty interesting to find it in her paperwork. She talks about the things that you can do. She actually says to let the client cry for a little bit, like for a couple minutes, because it's an energetic release that's really therapeutic, but don't let them suffer unnecessarily long, which is pretty interesting because I don't know. I was kind of under the impression to not let them cry for that long, but uh Dolores Cannon kind of explained it a little differently, I
No, that
guess.
makes
So
sense though. I think that's our Capricorn though. We're like, no, shut up. Just shut up. Shh.
yeah.
It's okay, shut up. Just shut up. Shh. You're fine.
But it's actually like good to let them so that they
No, but
can,
it makes
yeah.
I know it makes sense. Like I kind of, yeah, no, I kind of wish I would have let some of that crying go a little bit in that session, you know? Like,
I mean,
well, I mean,
it was pretty intense.
anytime I recall that 1800s life, I cry a lot. Like even going back asking questions about it makes me cry.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Just that was that was a very sad, like it's a sad one.
Yeah.
Heart-wrenching.
On Sunday, I finally was able to channel my first human past life regression. For those of you who haven't been following along, it took several months for me to be able to channel in a past life regression session because I had a variety of blocks and things like that. So Stephanie has been channeling my past lives for me as a surrogate channeler while I guide her through them. And so I finally was able to remove these blocks and I'm now able to do my own past life regressions. And on Sunday, I regressed to a past life where I ran with Billy the Kid and it was pretty neat. It took a while. I kept expecting to see visuals, like I hear other people say that they see visuals, but it was a little bit challenging in the beginning because I had to learn that I work a little bit different and I feel things. And I actually was able to perceive the situation better if I put myself into the body and felt what I was experiencing. Yeah, it's like I had all these different shapes that just kept flashing around in my vision, but nothing was coming in. And then, so yeah, once I switched to, okay, feeling, then I felt
Yeah.
like I was ducking down behind something. And I felt like I kept turning to the side and talking to someone. And then it was chaotic. And then I was able to work my way backwards. Okay, well, who are we hiding from? Well, it's the law. Why? Okay, well, because there was just, so it was, I had to work my way from there back. It was interesting,
Well, and I was scrambling because I'm like, fuck, because there were so many things I wanted to know, but I didn't know how to ask it because I'm like, we got to rewind and find out, but I'm like, how do I rewind? Well, and like, I know I was scrambling. I didn't know what to ask you. It was a good thing you were asking it. 'Cause I didn't know what to say because I wanted to know. I'm like, this is the life. I need to know these things. Why are we here?
It was weird though that I had to access it backwards like that. I had to,
Sometimes that you do. Yeah. Sometimes you really do.
I work definitely more with like kind of that
How did we
opening
get here?
scene. I had to be in the body. Okay, I feel like I'm laying looking at the sky. Like that's how I'm actually getting more of the information is putting myself in that body, but I'm just not showing me any visuals. It's trying, but
Hmm.
it's for the most part, yeah, interesting. It was also weird whenever the piercing went through my Achilles of my foot. It was like very, very like strong, like holy shit, out of
Hmm.
nowhere. But it didn't stay very long, so it feels like maybe it heals relatively okay. But
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
once I acknowledged it, the pain went away. It was like once the message got through, then it didn't hurt anymore. But it was weird.
Dude, when we were in
Anyway.
that scene, your higher self said to me, she looked at me and goes, "You're in the scene." And that's when I asked, "Am I in the scene with you?" Because when you mentioned the girl bandaging you up, your higher self winked at me. And then we were going on, and then she was like, "You're in the scene. Hurry, ask," because I was gonna take you elsewhere, and I did. And yeah, you were like, "I feel like you're the woman." I'm like, "Ah," and you're high. Yeah, it was funny. Your higher self. I was like, "She told me." I love that.
Yeah, because I kept feeling you in town, but somehow in that scene, but I didn't get it until later
Mhm.
how it connected. So yeah.
I love that.
How did he die?
He was shot by Pat Garrett. I was trying to see if you could sense the energy because it was his friend.
It was his own friend.
Well, he was a lawmaker, he was a lawman, but yeah, they were friends. I was just trying to
Mm.
see if it was Pat who shot him, but there's also rumors that he let him go. But if you're saying that he was shot because it affected you so much, then he probably really did shoot him.
Yeah,
But
I feel like I watched him die.
because, well, the thing is, because there were many witness accounts, and I think that's what you were when you said there were people watching, because it says accounts vary as to the course of events. According to the canonical version, he entered the room. Bonnie failed to recognize Garrett due to poor lighting. Drawing his revolver and backing away, Bonnie asked, K&S, Spanish for who is it? Recognized Bonnie's voice. Garrett drew his revolver, fired twice. The first bullet struck Bonnie in the chest just above his heart, while the second missed. Garrett's accounts leave it unclear whether Bonnie was killed instantly or took time to die. And then you go on, and it says, because he tried to collect the fee, and the mayor wouldn't give it to him, and he refused to pay the reward. People began to claim that Garrett unfairly ambushed Bonnie. Garrett felt the need to tell his side of the story and called upon his friend, journalist Marshall Upston, to ghostwrite a book for him. And it was first published in April 1882. According, only a few copies sold following its release. And in time, it became reference for latter historians who wrote about Bonnie's life. But when you were saying that he was killed unfairly, like I was like, okay, then it probably really did go down the way they say it went down. It was probably, yeah, Pat Garrett who killed him. And a lot of people thought it was bullshit how he killed him.
Yeah. Whatever the circumstances were that were around it, it seemed like really unjust and yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything like you said, yeah. And the other scene in the saloon, he shot and killed Joe Grant, a newcomer to the area at Hargrove Saloon in Fort Sumner, New Mexico. Bonnie moved more extensively, known as the Kid, shot and killed Joe Grant. The origin of the difficulty was not learned. According to other sources, Bonnie had been warned Grant intended to kill him. He walked up to Grant, told him he admired his revolver, and asked to examine it. Grant handed it over. Before returning the pistol, he noticed it contained only 3 cartridges. Bonnie positioned the cylinder so the next hammer fall would land on an empty chamber. Grant suddenly pointed his pistol at Bonnie's face and pulled the trigger. When it failed to fire, he drew his own weapon and shot Grant in the head. A reporter for the Las Vegas Optic quoted Bonnie as saying, "The encounter was a game of 2 and I got there first." That's funny. That's what happened in the saloon.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you got that one. He killed, yeah, he actually shot him, and you got that. And it's funny that you called him Henry, like you really did know him. You knew him, like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't he wasn't William or Billy to you. He was Henry to you. That means you really like knew him personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the name that just like was overwhelmingly really loud and repeated over and over before I said it.
Well, and when I was in your life as you in that life, I kept calling him Henry too. I got him as Henry
Mm.
too. So yeah, he really did know him. I should go in there as me in that life as the doc, and see what I get. That'd be kind of fun sometime.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So Travis didn't end up playing.
No, I had a feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so like I said, I said, you need to contact him and find out when you are. When is your set? Like, as a special guest, does that mean you're going first? Or does that mean you're going later on in the night? Like, if it's a special guest, is
Then
that
he'd be headlining.
right? That's what
Yeah.
I was saying. No, they want him to open. 9 o'clock's an opening spot.
Oh,
Not fucking
That is
retarded.
not a fucking special guest spot either. Give
Right?
me a
I
fucking
know.
break. Like,
so-
oh my God.
So I was like, your name was not on the bill. You haven't even been announced on any of the advertisements. So you're just gonna show up and open for them just as like a stage filler, as a special guest, like quote unquote.
Like a
And I'm
fucking
like,
chump. Like they're not even on the fucking flyer. Fuck them.
yeah. And I was like, I mean, if you want to do it, like I know you miss performing and I support you and I'll go. It's just kind of weird, you know? And then I was like, and you also know that nobody is going to show up at 9 o'clock. And this happens all the time. And we end up sitting there till 11. And you half the time he ends up leaving pissed off and not performing at all because nobody ever shows up. There's never enough of an audience. And they just finally decide to start the show with no audience. And then Travis gets pissed and leaves. By the time you go on, it'll be 11. We'll get home after midnight. You have to get up at 2:30, you know, but it's like, and that this job has really affected his ability to perform because this is an issue every single time. He works 3:30 in the morning, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, which are pretty much the show days,
What does he do
which
for work?
upsets him. He's a cook at a rehab center.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, who the fuck needs him that early in the fucking morning?
It's the morning
Yeah, it's the
breakfast.
morning meal. Yeah,
And it's
that
for
makes
like
sense.
dementia patients, and it's pretty much like a place where people go that don't have funding for anyone else to take care of them. It's like Medi-Cal funded, so it's
Kind of shitty.
kind of, yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, like the food they feed them is like really subpar, and they get so much fucking money. They make like $1 million profit a month kind of a thing. It's like sickening how much money they make.
And they're not putting it back into that program at all. Giving
No,
them
not into the
shit.
food, not to the people, not to the employees, like nothing.
Of course.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Like,
But I'm
when
kind
can
of
the
glad.
system collapse already? Like, fuck. But I think it's adorable that he works at a mental health place with that one life where you weren't crazy, but he was crazy, you know?
Right.
I just think that's adorable as fuck. But anyway, sorry, go on.
He was doing something when we were camping, and I was like, "Oh, that's exactly how you acted in the mental asylum."
What did he do?
I never went. No. Oh, it's become like a joke between us now.
Him being in the mental asylum?
Yeah.
Did he listen to that part?
No.
Oh, you should play it for him. Yeah, it's cute. It's so adorable. Like, I just really love him in that life. Like, it's just so fucking cute. And the doctors bought him a lab coat. Like, I just because like he was so beloved at that hospital.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like how he is in general when it comes to he gets really along well with old people, and like he likes working in like those care homes and like walking around and chatting everyone up and, oh, hello, Mrs. So and so, how's your book today? You know, and like,
Dude,
I
I
don't know.
could probably pinpoint his rising sign because if he likes to do work like that, like that's a generational axis. So it's like either Cancer ruling a certain house or or it's his fourth house and 10th house doing stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to see it in my head, but we could probably pinpoint his fucking rising sign by putting certain planets in places. Because if he's able to skillfully, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm high now, so you keep talking. Sorry.
Yeah, we've talked about, or I'm like telling him that we should call and find out what time he was born. He pulled out his birth certificate again, and it does not say the time,
That's
which he told
crazy
me it
because mine
didn't. And I
does.
was, yeah, I don't know. He said, no, it doesn't because we've looked before. Because I have asked him to look before for the same exact reason. Because periodically over the years, I'll like,
Do I have just his sunrise chart? Right? I think I
yeah,
pulled
because
that.
we
Yeah,
don't know
because
his time. Yeah.
oh wait, I could totally find. I gotta see where the vertex is because I know that can only be in certain houses. And so I could pinpoint it better that way. Because I would be willing to bet if he enjoys working with old people, either his sun and moon, I mean, his moon and Venus would be in his 10th house, which by the way, oh yeah, we need a birth time for sure. Because he either has a Leo moon or a Cancer moon. And oh yeah, we've already discussed this because he is dramatic, but he's also really emotional. And
Yeah.
so that completely matters. And
So
so, yeah,
either one of those could be the case.
yeah, because he was born on a sign change day. And so
Mm,
that's why you need the time. Because my friend, Alan's cousin, her daughter, her and I were pregnant at the same time with our most recent kids, right? And she gave birth 2 weeks before me. And her daughter was born on the day that the sun moved from Cancer to Gemini. Gemini to Cancer. She is literally a Gemini by 15 fucking minutes. Just 15 minutes later, she would have been a Cancer.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy. And like my buddy Anthony, he's adopted, so he doesn't know his birth time either. And he was born on his moon is also a sign change day too. And so that's why I'm like, fuck. Like that's a key, that's like your big three. That's a key, like you need to know what your moon is because it's funny. I'm high. Sorry. Okay. Cancers love food. Food is nurturing to them. And so him being a cook and loving to cook and all that shit.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal for him.
Exactly. Yeah. Cancer and Taurus are the foodies of the zodiac. Like Taurus is more about like the fine food and the finer things and making something from scratch properly and like la la la. But Cancer, they just love to eat and they don't care what it is. Comfort food, fine food, whatever. They put they cook with love and yeah, it's a nurturing thing for them. So I would be willing to bet that he's a Cancer moon because he also has his Chiron in Taurus. So yeah, that also the Taurus and Cancer, they're very comfort, nurture, all that kind of shit. He also, I believe, has that in a Cancer degree. He's got a Cancer Venus and a Cancer degree. So he's very like he earns money in Cancerian ways, like by nurturing and taking care of and offering comfort. And so, with that being said, I'm gonna set this time to like noon. It would be, I would say noon, because his fucking
At what time of day does it change, do you think?
it changes every 2 hours. So wait,
Oh.
let's try 10 a.m. because I'm moving it the wrong way. Has those placements in the 10th house, then that means he has a Leo moon at a critical degree. That's crazy, but it's still cool because Cancer rules his midheaven, which is his profession, his career. It's like a nurturing, it fits, it still fits, it's cool. But that's interesting if this is his birth, like if he was born around 10 a.m.
I wish there was a way for us to find out.
I know, God. You know what I thought of? So I thought of next time you channel, I'm just going to ask you four numbers. I'm going to ask you four numbers for a time, like a day that Travis was born. So we're going to start with the first number and just whatever number pops in your head. And then we'll just do another number and like whatever number like 0 through 9. You know what I mean? And just see if we can find it that way. Like as long as it takes you to figure it out too. You know what I mean? Like channel it.
I wonder if we could get him to do a session if he would be able to say.
That too, you know what I mean? Why won't he do one?
I don't know.
Like, have you asked him before?
Yeah, I've tried to convince him a million different ways, reasons why we could use it for his benefit.
Well, yeah, he's got his south node in the fucking 4th house. That's the mother. That's your roots. That's your generational shit. Like he has to close the cycle.
Yeah, I've been telling him that. We had a long talk on the drive home about unhealed trauma and so that game that we were playing, one of the cards in the game said, it has been proven scientific fact that stored and unhealed negative emotions in a relationship significantly have a negative impact on men's health. What will you do with this information? That was one of the cards.
Damn.
And so I was like, see, I'm not saying this stuff to you for no reason. Like I've been telling. Yeah. And I was like, he like tried to put it away and I was like, no. I was like, well, they're not even asking you anything. They're literally asking you, what are you going to do now that you learned this with this information? Like,
yeah, I'm going to put it away. I'm just going to make it go away.
Grow from it, learn from it.
No, he's just going to
try
put
not
it
to,
away.
you know.
Yeah, he's just going to tuck it away. Doesn't exist.
Well, literally, physically, that's what he tried to do. He just tried to put the card back in the box and ignore it.
I know.
And
that's
then
so funny to me.
opened up this whole thing about men have prostate cancer and heart attacks and all this stuff. And a lot of it is from unhealed trauma. And I brought it up with my parents because he's got a hurt foot, but he won't go to the doctor. And I was like, because he's afraid he has to get an exam.
Oh my God.
And so my mom took it as, my mom's a nurse, so she took it as an opportunity to educate him, which is nice because I can tell him something till I'm blue in the face. Someone else tells him and suddenly it matters, you know.
I know, that's crazy.
It's pretty typical husband behavior though. It's like raising children.
I know, my worst child is my mother-in-law's son.
Mm-hmm. Seriously.
I can't believe that fucking bitch said that to you. I want to hang that bitch out to dry. I want to put her on blast and be like, who the fuck talks like this?
I'm so confused as to
who
where
the
it
fuck
even
knows
came
this
from.
person? Yeah,
and that's the thing. I
who is
actually
this
sent it to
person?
several friends, and no one I know knows her, which is really weird. Because I mean, you know, they say there's pretty much really only 3 degrees of separation, in this country. In Humboldt, there is only 1 degree of separation. It's almost impossible to find someone in Humboldt you don't have a mutual friend with. And it's weird that I click on her page and somehow have no mutual friends with her when I know a lot of motherfucking people. Several other people I sent it to my friend Sarah and asked her to look at mutual friends as well. Same thing. She had no mutual friends with her. I'm like, that is really weird for her to grow up in McKinleyville and live in Arcata, but not know any of us. That's really weird. So it may just be a total fake troll account. But it's weird because the girl that the pictures are posted of that she's showing of her daughter 40th birthday, the girl that's standing next to her in the photo Sarah had actually sent me, they circled her face. The younger girl looks hella familiar. Maybe she's come into the casino before or something, but I don't know them. Super fucking weird, dude.
That is weird.
But yeah, I mean, that's the kind of shit that happens to me when I put myself out there. That's one of the reasons why I didn't do a lot of those videos. You know, when I said I got the ring light and I did a couple and freaked out and didn't do anymore. And that's one of the reasons is because that's my biggest fear is having someone say that kind of shit to me, you know?
I don't blame you. Yeah.
But, you know,
The
it
internet's
actually didn't
fucking
really
mean,
bother me
dude.
as much as
Yeah.
I thought it was going to. Actually, I don't really care.
No,
I'm
that's
trying not
good.
to anyway, so.
No, I'm worse. You're better at it than I am. That's I still cringe over shit from the podcast. And I wanted to go back and delete so many of those episodes. I cringe all the time if I really think about yeah, it's hard. It's so hard for me to put my ideas out there and
Oh yeah.
I'm
Well,
glad
it's
that
even worse
nobody's
when people are
really
out there saying fucked up shit about you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying is at least nobody's listening right now. I don't have anything to worry about right now, but
Well, because I told you that happened to me whenever I actually had a music video that blew and they shared it on the local news.
wow.
People fucking, did I tell you about that? That I got
Oh yeah,
dragged
you
through
told
the
me about
fucking
that.
gutter for that shit.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Whenever I do put myself really out there in the public eye, I always get, not always, there's been some things I've been able to do, I guess, with the paint nights. People kind of fucked with me a little bit in the beginning. Like I said, there was people that came to classes and would talk shit and stuff. But after a while, that died down and just kind of kept doing my thing, you know? But
yeah, it's usually the people that can't do what you're doing or are too afraid to do what you're doing talk the loudest,
yeah.
I remember one time I played a song for a quote friend and the scene, and he couldn't just listen to it. And I didn't ask him to critique it either. I wasn't asking because sometimes I do. I'll have people listen to it. I'm like, tell me if you notice something or tell me if something stands out because I'm trying to make it perfect so I could master it, and finish it and be done with it. But that time I was done with it. I was just presenting it. So you need to shut the fuck up. I don't want your critiques. If you don't like it, keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? And he
Right.
literally sat there the whole entire time just talking shit. Just, oh, this is this and this is this. And it got under my skin to the point where I opened for this one party. It was a big show, or not a big show, it was a big party too. It was this party called Eden, because I was part of a few scenes in the underground. Like there was Click, and then there was this guy John did Eden, and then I forget this. I didn't give a fuck. I DJ'd at them, and they were fun. You know what I mean? I opened for Eden, and I wanted to drop the track, but I didn't because that critique, and I was like. I thought it wasn't the right vibe. It was too this, it was too that, it wasn't enough this and this and that. And then now after the fact, like listening to it now, I'm like, this song's fucking dope. I should have dropped it. It would have been perfect. You're like, what the fuck? Like, it really pisses me off. Just like
Right.
fucking haters. In fact, when I was done, like it was like my last quarter, the teacher played our stuff for the class and let them critique it or whatever. And I regret playing the song that I did. I should have played a different one because it wasn't my best work. I should have played a different one. But I could tell who the fucking, because there was this one critique that was just so fucking rude. And I knew exactly who it was from because that fucker was in that class. Like I fucking knew who. I could just tell by what he was saying. I'm like, but I don't know. Like I've experienced that in the scene. Like there's so many fucking haters, especially dudes with women. Like they're cool with you to your face, but you can't know more than them, and you can't be more talented than them. You can't find
Right.
better music than them, and like you can't show them new things. Like you just have to be pretty and let them smack your ass whenever they want and shut up. Like,
Yeah.
and so like I was thinking about this one day because I was looking back I found Click's YouTube page because like a video came up on my fucking memories. And so I was watching all these old videos from their parties, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm in some of them too. It's really cute. And I was like, oh cool. This dude Paulo, he was my mentor, and I respected it the hell out of him. But like looking back, I don't know, like there was when I was like trying to get into DJing, like which rightfully so, he wants to see how serious you are. So he's like, get a USB and put some music on it and come over. And I kept saying that, like, I want you to teach me how to do this. This would be fun. And he's like, hey, get music on a USB and bring it over. And so about a couple months of that, I finally did. I got music, put it on a USB, and I brought it over. And we played for a little bit. And then there was one time he like wanted me to come over and show me stuff, but he literally invites over a lot of the homies. And so it wasn't this intimate vibe where I can learn what I'm doing. It was this like it was like he called everybody over there to like humiliate me. Like he completely humiliated me. Like even thinking about it makes me want to cry. Like what he did to me. Like he was so fucking rude to me. He was making these crazy Instagram posts. He would like literally, he wouldn't point his phone at the decks. He would just point it at some obscure point in the room. And then he would talk shit about like how I'm dressed or how I'm just there to look good and I'm not there.
Really?
I'm not there for the vibe. Oh yeah. And then which is ironic because the dude has this extensive Nike collection and he always was dressed to the nines at every event, but I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? And so anyway, back to so he fucking he was like he was really hard on me for the mistakes I was making, and he was like going to town on me. And so finally I'm like, I'm just gonna have a cigarette. And so I let someone else get on decks and I went outside and I like literally I wasn't even around anyone because I don't cry in front of people, but I cried. And his girlfriend saw it and she fucking ripped him a new one. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just, and everyone." And I'm like, "Just shut the fuck up. I don't want to be coddled. I'm fine. The stress just got to me. I'm okay. Let me decompress." But yeah. And after that, he was fine. But I'm scrolling Instagram and I'm seeing all these, like he made like 3 or 4 posts talking fucking shit to my face, but without it, you know what I mean? Like it was the
Wow.
craziest thing to me. And then
And completely passive aggressive.
exactly. I'm like, you told me I want to learn and you said you would teach me. And so I did what you said. And so instead of teaching me, you call over all of our friends and just publicly humiliate me. Like, is that how to
Yeah.
get in the crew or some bullshit? And so then I get invited to go to Loco Dice. It's this German DJ and he's playing in fucking LA. And mind you, I don't know DJs, okay? I just listen to music. But like the politics in the DJ scene is why I don't like DJing anymore. Because it can't be a hobby. It's not a hobby. Like I literally said that one time, and that fucking hater, Sebastian, he goes on Facebook and makes this post, this novel about how DJing is not a hobby. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I don't know. You have to either be passionate completely or you can't be on those decks. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, they just suck the fun out of it. Anyway, so we go to Loco Dice. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm like, techno, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. And I hear they're bringing acid. I'm like, fuck yes, let's do this. And so but I wear my cute little techno skirt and I have these shoes that I bought up here actually on a visit. I got these fucking Vera Wangs for like $30 at like these wedges mint condition at this like secondhand store in Ferndale. And so those were my dancing shoes. And so I wore those. They're gorgeous. Anyway, since I was dressed cute, he posts this meme that says techno is passion, not fashion. And literally before we left, and we're all driving up in the same car together. And I'm
Someone
like,
is a mad hater, dude.
I know. I'm like, you literally are wearing Nikes right now that match your shirt and your glasses. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, don't talk to me about like fashion. Like, don't hate because I got a wicked sense of fashion. And oh, yeah, you know what I think it stems from though is there was one night we were drunk and this guy, he's got a girlfriend of like forever years, right? But he cheats on her all the fucking time. And I watch it all the fucking time. I'm just like, all right, whatever, dude. And so we're sitting at my apartment and I'm smoking and we're talking and he's like starting to tell me how he wants to sleep with me. And just like one night, let's just do one night. I'm like, Paulo, honestly, like I look at you like a father figure. No, I was like, that it would be really weird for me. And I'm sorry, but no. And I cannot remember if that was before or after he started talking mad shit to me, but I think it might have been after, or I mean before, because it just would make sense of why he turned into such a fucking hater.
Yeah.
Like it was just ridiculous. But I was thinking about that today. I'm like, man, I really have a lot of fond memories, but I also have a lot of PTSD from all that shit. Like there's so many shady, it's just shady. Fucking hate the music scene, dude. The deeper you go into it, it's just shady. And you got to sell people out and you got to fucking walk all over everybody. And you can't be good at anything because especially if you're a hot chick. If you're a hot chick, you just slept your way to the top. You're fucking everybody. I swear to God, I had that boyfriend that was like the fucking mental case that fucking just broke me. He questioned me all the fucking time about my friends in the scene that I was fucking. I was like, to be honest with you, I haven't fucked any of them. That's why we're friends. Like, like, give me a fucking break, you idiot. Like, I fucking hate it. I don't know. I'm starting to like wake up to like how women are really treated. And it's because I come from such a male dominated family and way of thinking about stuff. And I'm starting to like really understand now the other side and how looking back, how I've been treated and how I'm like, you know what? That is not acceptable. Like, why did I let that happen?
Right.
I don't know. Soapbox over. Jesus. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I used to actually. It's funny because right about the time we finally, I mean, I always wanted to be in the music industry and be a performer and stuff. And right about the time I started was right about the time I kind of grew out of it because I had never really got the opportunity to record music until I got with Travis, even though I always had the desire to. I pretty much just went to karaoke all the time, and that was my musical performing outlet, and
Yeah.
I did it a lot at home, but I didn't have the capabilities to do all the stuff I do now with music videos, and we didn't have the recording studio. When I got with him, he didn't have that stuff either. And that we just slowly acquired it over the years. I think we had some recording equipment, but it wasn't until his brother moved in with us. His brother actually went to school to be an audio engineer, and so he moved in
Hell
with us
yeah.
for a while. He's the one that did all the audio on my first that Snake in the Grass song. I think I sent it to you.
You did,
Uh,
yeah.
and so he like produced the first several of my songs. He started like half-assing and fucking up on our music on purpose around the time that it was time for him to kind of move on. He'd been on our couch too long and they were kind of butting heads a lot, and he started sabotaging things. And then Travis pretty much had taught himself how to mix and master and do all the producing and stuff by watching his brother while his brother lived here. And then prior to that, we had this girl live with us for a while. She was a video chick, and I kind of tried to learn from her, but she didn't really want to teach me. She was kind of a hater about it. Her and I didn't exactly get along. And after several months, I asked her, I was like, okay, it's time for you to move on. Like, you don't need to be on our couch anymore. And Travis wouldn't. And of course, I had to be the bad guy, but it sucks when your living room is someone else's bedroom and you suddenly don't have a living room anymore. You have nowhere you can go, and
Oh yeah. Well, then they can't either. They don't have their own space either. And that's hard.
right. And I
Yeah.
kept telling her that it was necessary, but of course, I'm the bad guy, whatever. I just have learned at a young age that it's important to have boundaries like that with your friends and not let it just keep going and going and going. But I kind of watched and studied from afar how she did the first like couple music videos and then like learned how I would do it different because I didn't really think she was that good at it anyway. Slowly but surely over the years with different networking and stuff, we've kind of built up to our super lit, which because he was part of a record label originally through in South Carolina and she was one of their video people, but they ended up becoming some of them were scammers and stuff like that. And we just kind of quit fucking with them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shady people in that industry. Like
But
so
as far as
fucking
the
many.
local stuff, it was like I never really got into the scene and started making music until I was like young 30s. So by the time, and I did it for several years, but by the time I'm like hitting 40, I'm like kind of over it. I'm not really into this young 21 something scene. Like a lot of the people are annoying now when I go to these things and
Yeah. No,
it's
I
just
feel ya.
different now.
No, I totally feel you. And
I don't really want to drink. I mean, that shit's fun whenever I like, if I have like a couple girlfriends come and meet me at the show and we're drinking and doing our own thing and he can do his music networking. But like, I'm not one of those girls that's going to follow him around attached to his hip while he goes around and networks with all the guys. So I end up like sitting in a corner, like on my phone, just fucking scrolling unless I have friends that come and visit. Sometimes I make friends with the other girlfriends of the other artists, but a lot of them are like hella drama. So I have to be careful. Or they
I
just want to
know.
get fucked up, or they all want to do a bunch of coke. And I don't really want to do any of that stuff right now. So.
I know exactly. Yeah. I don't know. That really sucks because I really did enjoy DJing. I loved it so much. It was literally the only thing performance-based that I was not nervous to do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I took a voice acting class in college and it was so much fun. We for our midterm, we had to do a news segment and I wrote ours. I wrote our midterm and the final. And the news segment was we were a morning talk show. The chick, I was one of the anchors, but I modeled it after a Saturday Night Live sketch with Sherry O'Terry and Will Ferrell. And Sherry O'Terry is just this dumbass. And she just says all this stupid shit, you know? And so I was my character. I was just this fucking dumbass, just said all this stupid airheady kind of shit. The other anchor was played by my buddy John. He is like this like fucking Walter Cronkite, like wannabe, used to work for this serious news desk, but something happened that he doesn't talk about. And now he's got bumped down to this stupid weekday talk show or whatever, and he's not happy about it. He's really bitter, but he's a very serious news anchor. And then we have the weather report, but the chick that does our weather report only speaks Spanish. And it's this chick she speaks fluent Spanish. So she did a weather report in Spanish. It was so fucking funny. And then we had our sports guy. He uses a lot of those catchphrases. And so we had action cards and like I think we had subtitles for her Spanish segment. Anyway, it was really funny. It was super cute and I'll have to dig out the video and send it to you. It's kind of cute. But that was another thing I wasn't very nervous to do. Yeah, that one was fun. I wish I could take another class like that. That shit was so much fun. Like all the games that we'd play to develop these characters and like the voice. I have like all these characters that I came up with.
Yeah, we always try to come up with different characters and stuff for music videos, like different concepts and ideas for different characters around Christmas time or Christmas, around Halloween, especially after Halloween when everything goes on sale. We try to go get costume props, masks, wigs, anything that we can find that's like good deals that inspires like a character of some sort that would work for a video.
That's cool. That's really cool. I have these characters, like there's this fucking old lady character that I have. Her name's Laverne. Laverne. I used to be able to say her name better, but her name's Laverne, and she's an ex-smoker, so she talks like this, you know. She used to cook the books for the mob back in the day, and she's got a son. His name's Tony. But I think he's gay. He calls him Twinkle Toes. He doesn't want to be a footman. He in the mob. He would rather go dance on Broadway. But there's oh shit. There's another one.
Do they make you like develop like backstories for your characters?
No, well, no, I did. I always develop backstories. Yeah, because Laverne, her best friend's name is Stell, and I named her after Dean, like her character after my best friend Dean. And so, because Dean's first name's Erica, but yeah, her name's Estelle. You know what's funny to me? I look at Sonia and Sienna, and I inadvertently, I don't know if I said that word right. I named them after Dean and I. Because Sonia is darker, she's older, and her middle name is Kay, and my middle name's Kay. Dean, she's younger than me, but like a year and a half, I think. And she's lighter, her hair's a little lighter. And so is Sienna, and Sienna's middle name is Dean. So I named him after both of us. But I was like, that's cute. Although Dean and I, we don't ever fight. We didn't like each other when we first met, but we are inseparable now. Well, actually, we're separable now, but I would like it if we weren't, you know, we lived closer. I gotta remember my other characters. I have Laverne is like my OG one. I remember fucking it was when I was in college and it was right after Chad died. I was a fucking mess. I remember there was this guy that I went to school with. He's like this quiet, mysterious guy, and I was totally into him. He looks like Mac Miller, no joke. But like, I remember I had this feeling because that crashed and burned really quick. But it was like in the moment, I like sexually rejected him, and it just made everything awkward. And I, to this day, feel terrible about it. But like, it just, he was so mean to me too after that until it finally just disintegrated. It was just bleh. And I remember thinking I was just so at the lowest. And I remember thinking like Garrett literally came along to force me to deal with shit that I was not dealing with. I was not dealing with my breakup. Chad just died. I was not dealing with that. Like, and then this shit with Garrett happened. I was like, holy fuck. And I remember my buddy Hardy, I lived with him, and he made this drum beat, and I asked him if I could build something around it because he went to take a nap, and I was like, can I just build something around this? And he's like, yeah. And I built this whole ass song, and it was so good. And the song, I saw this meme that said, like, in French, we don't say I miss you, we say they're missing from me. And so that song was about like my trifecta of like the people that were missing from me. It was like, you know, it really, because Garrett was even, he wasn't just any guy. He was like he was part of the homies and like my soul family, like, and I don't know, he was just somebody that like we created together a lot, you know, and yeah, he wasn't just anybody, you know. And so that really, it really hurt, you know, and it was disappointing. And I remember and going through school with him was torture because I liked him. He rejected me. Of course I fell in love with him.
Right.
And so, oh yeah, and we had so many classes together. And then he was in this band and I chased it like, oh God, it was so stupid. Like I kind of chased him, but I also was just in the scene because all my friends were there and I just loved it. Like the scene, it was just a lot of fun. The shows, because they were in bands, like actual blues bands. And like we did that. It was fun. And sure as shit, Garrett and I don't know how, but we became friends again. and I was back in the lab again. And I remember I was playing him songs that I'd created since like we had that falling out, and the only one that he like paid attention to and liked was the one that was about him. Yeah, he was like, "Wait a
Oh.
minute." I completely channeled him on the piano of that song. Like completely channeled him. Like that the keys, the way I played it and everything was so Garrett and like and yeah. I was like, "You like that?" I was like, "I channeled your energy." But yeah, and it was funny because we shroomed together, and we talked about that. We talked about well, I mean he told me stuff too, but yeah, we talked about everything and I explained everything to him and I was like honestly, and I told him what I said to you. I was like, I think you were just there to, and the way it disintegrated and blew up in our faces, I was like, I think that was just there to force me to deal with shit that I wasn't dealing with. Like there was a breakup I wasn't dealing with and a fucking Chad's death, you know. It was just a lot. And he's like, yeah, that makes sense, you know. And like now we're like really good friends. Like there was one time I went to this clique day party and I kind of got a little drunk, so I Ubered because he wanted me to come over with because he didn't want me to come over. He like invited me over to watch the fights or whatever. And so I did like he invited other friends, you know. But I was kind of buzzed, you know, but I hadn't smoked weed yet that day and fucking I hit his bong and I got so fucking crossfaded. I had to go in his bathroom and I literally laid on the floor and I had to collect myself and I couldn't move. And he like after a minute he comes in and he's like, "What in the fuck?" He's like, "Are you okay, girl?" I was like, "I don't know." It was so funny. I was like, "Just leave me here. I'll be fine." But yeah, I've had some shit show moments, but it was funny when we were shrooming, he kind of had an epiphany that he said out loud about me. And I think once he had that epiphany, now like him and I are really good friends. He was like, he was like, it's kind of cool, and then it gets really awkward, and then it gets really cool again. And he was like, I get it now. And I was like, what, me? It was funny.
We actually filmed that on the trip that we went to Alien Con. We shot that in the alley behind our Airbnb, which was across the street from Alien Con.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, I commend people who can like fucking do that, like film a music video like that in broad daylight. I would be so worried about people watching me.
Oh yeah, this old
Like
lady
I
came.
can't.
So you'll see when he's in the alley, he has like money and stuff, and this old lady like came down the alley and was like trying to sweet talk him and all this stuff, and was trying to get him to like give her money.
Oh
She
my
was
God.
like a homeless lady, and she was like dancing to the song and stuff
That's
because
funny.
it was prop money.
Oh
It's
yeah.
definitely not
I
real
would just
money.
give it to her then. I'd be like, here you go, lady. Fucking get out of here.
Thank
His
ya.
nerd character fucking cracks me up. But yeah, this is a good
It,
video. I like it.
it got a lot of response because of that. And that's what I keep trying to tell him. Like, if we made like short films, you know, instead of like you don't have to make this cool music video. Like, make a short film that's entertaining. That's what's gonna get people. Yeah, I'm still kind of like brain dead from camping. Like, still recuperating. And I didn't really, other than I just really, really enjoyed, you know, I spent the whole time, you know, arting, but it still exhausts me. Just sleeping on the ground and stuff just makes me like, it takes me a couple days to get back to
So you
reality.
guys like sleep on the fucking ground. Like you're not on a
Yeah, we have
cot
a memory foam. We have like a pretty decent memory foam mattress. Yeah, we bought cots during the pandemic. That's like we did a lot of camping, invested a lot of money and stuff, and pretty much returned with it.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't do an air mattress because I'm just too heavy and they pop.
Well, air
And
mattresses suck anyway. I have a hard time with them. I do have one that I've had for 2 or 3 years. I can't believe it's still, but it's awesome. I love it. I have an air mattress that is the best.
nice. These memory foam mattresses that we've had pretty much forever, we always just go back to them because they always end up being better than anything else that we try. but it straight sucks.
Dude, when I did girls' camp, when I was growing up in the church, like we every summer we had girls' camp, and it was pretty fun. There was one year we got like snowed out though. It was fucking crazy. Like I can't, I think it was, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember what the weather was like the night before. Yeah, I do remember it just being normal. And, but I want it, was it raining? But yeah, it was raining because we were all huddled in the tents. And I remember we were playing poker, and one of the leaders walked by and she's like, I hope you guys aren't playing poker because apparently it's against the religion. And we're like, no, we're not. We're playing Go Fish. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, all right, Annie up. And then we woke up to snow everywhere, and so
Wow.
it was crazy. Yeah, and so I remember that drive home. That was funny because it was trying to break down camp sucked because it's a bunch of girls in the snow. Like there's some of the girls like to rough it and are cool with it, and other girls don't. And like some of them sat by the fire the whole time.
Right.
And I actually did work, and I stood by the fire to warm up for a minute, and a fucking tree branch broke and got snow on all of us. And one of the
Oh,
leaders is
no.
like, she's like, haha, that's God telling you to get to work. And I'm like, no, the fuck it ain't. I was like, I have been working. But anyway, we had this makeup camp like a month or two later, but it was just our ward. My friend Holly, she and I think I had the cots and she had the memory foam. Or did I have the cots and the memory foam? And I can't remember what she had, but we slept in the same tent, and we had this cot that came off the ground, a memory foam, and then our sleeping bags. Like we brought regular blankets. Like it was just this bougie tent. And we went, and because when we stopped off to get the like snacks or whatever, like we had all the kinds of snacks. Like our leaders were like, you need to put that in the bear bin at night because we wanted to have like Funyuns and candy and potato chips, all that shit in our tent at night, but you can't, unless you want to get eaten. But yeah, it was funny. I slept on a cloud, basically.
I woke up the second day camping to all those cows that I said that run wild. They were migrating through our campsite
Oh,
and
fuck.
walking right by my head. Like I could feel the vibration in the ground. And then when my mom came where she parked, they had like shit in our campsite. I didn't
Oh
notice it
my
before she came.
God.
But so, yeah, I woke up at like 4 a.m. with Travis going, hello? Who is that? Excuse me, who is that? And he's like trying to figure out what it is. And then he's like, is there fucking bears out here? And I was like, well, yeah, probably. Like, and he's like, is it a cow? And then all of a sudden, like, we wait a few more minutes, and then I'm also hear, "Meow." And I'm like, okay, it's a cow.
Waited a few more moments.
But
Stu-
yeah, so then we figured out that the cows had come into the campsite or the campground because it's happened to us across the lake at Boy Scout, but I've never seen them come into this one.
That's funny that they came all the way in like that because
Oh yeah, they do it in all the campgrounds. They've
it's
definitely
funny.
do, but I think maybe they've noticed that all the people were moved out because then they decided to kind of come in. And yeah, I woke up at like 6 a.m. to them walking right by my head. I could feel their hooves on the ground.
Damn.
There had to be several of them. I mean, it was a lot. I could feel like
That's funny. I know we were just driving to the lake, and I turn a corner and there's a fucking cow in the road. I was like, oh my
yeah,
God. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, dude, if I was going any faster around that curve, we would have all been like, we probably would
yeah,
have died. The cow would have died like a head-on collision. Totally. Yeah,
yeah,
it would have did some massive damage to everybody.
yeah. It's definitely an issue out there. That's why I think they put
Well,
those signs and stuff out.
I know, but they need to just put some fence out, like they shouldn't let the cows roam like that on the road. Let them, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
That's
interesting. I
dangerous.
don't know. They always have too. It's always been that way as long as I've known.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I don't know. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
There was one time when I first moved here, I was at the Pally with some people, people I used to drink with there. And we decided to drive out to the river and go shooting.
Typical
Which
Ferndale.
I know. I was literally just gonna say that because I'm like, it's so different from my San Diego nights. We'd leave the club and go get a burrito, you know? Like
Yeah,
fucking
not around here.
no.
Not how we do it.
No, that's what I love though. I love it. But because I love shooting. It's fun. But like fucking we were just driving and my friend and I we were talking, you know, and out of nowhere this sheep's butt is in the fucking windshield view, you know. We're like, "Oh fuck." And like his bumper just boom like hits the sheep and it kind of skips, you know, ahead and then goes off to the side. And we both look at each other and we're like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, I can't remember if me or him said we should turn around, but he turned around, you know, and we were driving to see if the sheep was okay, you know, and we never saw it. Like we didn't see it on the side of the road. People were like, maybe he just jumped back over the fence. He's like, or I was like, maybe you bumped him over the fence. But yeah, it was just this mysterious sheep in the road and then it just disappeared.
We also wanted to let you guys know that if you have any questions about what we talk about, if there's anything that you want to know about the universe, email us at thedeependpodcast2024@gmail.com.
Yeah, totally. We'll do our best to answer your questions and it'll be fun. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, listening to our podcast, and following us into the depths of the subconscious and the unknown.
Into the depths of your soul.
Come find me and book a reading on www.mutablemystic.com. Find me on Facebook at Mutable Mystic. You can find me on Instagram at mutable_mystic. Also, if you'd like to check out any of my music, you can find me on SoundCloud /stay, STE_music.
And you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook under Quantum Healing with Steph Green, and book your own past life regression session, or you can send me a message on Facebook and we could talk about what you have in mind. And don't forget to like, follow, and share the Deep End Podcast on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in today.
Hell, we can bend your mind next time. Always remember to ground your feet in the dirt and enjoy life with those gratitude glasses on. Pass this on.
The deep end.
The deep end.
Welcome to the deep end.
The deep end. The deep end, bro.
Yeah, brah, deep end.
It's deep, man.
Deep end.
The deep end.